That's one way to get off the mark. A £15 ghosty. Got my little feeders in here. Got a few my little gems.
Wow.
For being little. Did you just go right down to that, right?
Oh.
I've got 2 of these little feeders.
And I've just dropped one in there.
And now I've got 1.
This is one of the UK's premier fisheries, Hallcroft Fishery. Now, unfortunately, just a couple of months ago, this place was met with some really severe flooding. The lakes were impossible to fish. But we are anglers, we're desperate to get out on the bank, so as soon as the water level subsided, we were there ready for the start of the Baitech Feeder Masters Winter Pairs. I fished this event with my partner Adam Wakeling, Lee fishes the event with his partner Will Freeman. We're chomping at the bit all the way through the series. It's a 6-match series and we're now on round 3. We're going to run you through our day on the bank. There's going to be a few twists and turns, no doubt. I'll let Lee tell you about the league.
So it is the Baitech Feeder Masters Winter Pairs. Now we're on to round 3. It's held at Hallcroft Fishery, and as you can imagine, anyone in feeder fishing loves to fish this event. They love to come and get involved. It's bloodworm and joker. It's 50-centimetre limits. It's very classical style feeder fishing. Carp count as a pound, so there's no sort of like dobbing. You're not encouraged to sit for like 3 carp, for example. You might try and target 1 or 2 carp, maybe in the quieter periods, because they count a pound. And then you're looking for skimmers, and if you're lucky to be in an area where there's some bites from roach, then that's what you're going to be catching as well. So that's the sort of thing that you're looking for on this league. Now, 3 rounds in, it's really interesting. We've had 2 really mild rounds, and this is the 3rd round, but the weather has completely changed and it's freezing cold. So we're going to have to decide, anglers going to have to decide where they are, because what's going to happen is there's going to be some really great areas where people get lots of bites, and then there's going to be some much slower areas where you're going to have to be patient, try and target like 1 or 2 bigger fish, that sort of thing, damage limitation job. So far, me and my partner for the match, who's Will Freeman, we're sitting nicely in 3rd position. We're only about £15 behind the leaders. That can swing, no problem at all. And we're very close to 2nd place. So, you know, everything to play for. There is still 3 rounds left as well. Really, really interesting. Rob and his partner Adam Wakeling, that's right, me and Rob don't partner up for this match. There's a bit of history there because Rob wasn't there at the start and I was with Will, so you don't leave your man, do you? That's what you don't do. So he's with Adam Wakeling, obviously an amazing angler in himself, so they've got a great partnership. They had a rough first round when it was really mild and there were some big weights. They drew really poorly in that, but they're on the comeback now, big time, so they're hunting for one of those top 10 places as well. So it's going to be a really interesting approach to the day, and we'll have to see what happens.
What a fantastic morning to be out on the bank. No pegs have been drawn yet. I'm just looking at potential pegs that we could be drawing today. So let me turn you round. This is Croft Pool, and this lake can be very, very good. I'll tell you where it can be very good, even though it's a silvers only league. If you look at the bottom end of the lake, down there, there's some rush beds, and this peg there and that peg there can cast those rush beds, and there's a potential of catching quite a few carp. Carp count as a pound, so if you can get to sort of like 10, 15 carp is potentially good. You've got a real good chance of putting 10 or 15 pound on the scales. You wouldn't even have to weigh in, just count your fish back at the end of the day, pound a piece. This is Bridge, and we'll be fishing on the outer pegs today. And these are the pegs that you want to draw, I think, just in this bit of a bay area. There's been some decent weighted skimmers from these pegs recently, and that area seems to be pretty good. Far bank is a bit hit and miss, so behind that island, just in front of the lodges there, there's the far bank, and that's been a bit hit and miss, to be honest. This area again, I think you're too far down the lake, but wherever you see those brown reeds, that's where some carp can hang out. So you've got those brown reeds on this side of the lake and on the high numbers on the opposite side of the lake, and you could be carping Remember, £1 a piece for a carp, so they're well worth having a go for. I do feel though that as you look down the lake through the branches, as you look down the lake there, I feel that those are the pegs that are potentially going to win this lake. Sort of pegs 13 to 29, something like that. Those sort of pegs, I think they're the pegs that we're going to want to draw on this lake. Welcome to Moat Outer. Very similar in width to Bridge, the lake we've just been on. Flat calm again. I mean, I think if you're on a few carp, you'll be able to see the little bubbles and little signs that carp are in your peg, because it's so calm, you're going to be able to spot all those signs. So this area of the lake, again, that little bit of a bay area, it's been reasonably consistent. You're sort of fishing for 10 to 15 pound along that area. And then as you get into the corners, again, look at that. You see those brown reeds tight in the corner. These corner pegs, just as on Bridge and on Croft Lake, this is where you're looking for carp, really. You might catch an odd silverfish, but I imagine the main species you're looking for targeting is going to be a few carp. Try and get to 10 carp. I think as a pair, if you can get to 25 pound, 30 pound, I think that's going to be half a result today. It's so cold, but it is a beautiful morning, and it's so nice to be on the lakes so early when there's no other anglers on the lake. It's beautiful, really. So these are the early numbers. Around the far side, I mean, I don't know how many pegs are on this lake. There's 100 pegs on the outer part of this lake. Obviously you can see pegs on the island as well over there. Massive lake, but around the far side in the 70s and 80s, they can be decent pegs. And then once you get further in the corner, becomes a little bit more carp dominated. But if we're on this lake, hopefully we're down this bank.
We have done it again. Underwater footage is a game changer when you're trying to learn about fishing, and we have gone and got some incredible stuff.
The clearest footage we have ever got. Big fish feeding right in front of the camera. We're feeding, hooking fish, playing fish in front of the camera. We see exactly how those big fish react in a fishing situation.
Baits such as pellet and corn, worm and caster, and remember, there is hours of underwater footage, method feeder, float, margin for big carp, shallow fishing. It's all there on the Edge website, www.anglingedge.co.uk, and now you can join on YouTube too. If you love YouTube, join on our Edge YouTube channel and you can watch all this incredible underwater footage.
Peg 51, Moat Outer. There's the number. And they're 51. Apparently, talking to the guys in the calf, not the greatest of areas. But we're going to try our best. We're going to see what we can extract. Let's talk about the approach. Feeder only. So, 3 feeder rods set up. 1 short, 1 down the middle, 1 across. All running rigs. Got to be running rigs here. 50 centimetre hook lengths. That's the rules of this league. I'm hoping that if I can cast across, I can maybe hook an odd carp early on. And then 2 skimmer lines, one at 15 metres, one at 25 metres. Hopefully we nick a couple of fish off each line. I don't think this is an area for many small fish. I think the small fish are up there near the caravans. But if we've got an odd big bream hanging around this big area here, we might trick him. Next angler's peg 54. So we're not an end peg. We're quite generously spaced. Everyone's got 2 or 3 spare pegs, so gives us the best possible chance. Let's have a look at a very simple bait tray. Ground bait, really finely riddled swim stim black. That's the amino black, just the standard swim stim, not the crust expander one, not the milled expander. We've got some joker, we've got our bloodworm, some pinkies, a few maggots. Really simple. I think we're going to fish a maggot feeder across, ground bait feeder on the 2 shorter lines. Nice small feeders. Let me see if I can open this EVA case with one hand. Let's get in here, come on. Show you some feeders. Got a little Hallcroft selection of feeders there, so some little tiny rockets, little windows, little cages, and obviously got some maggot feeders for chucking across the far side. Name of the game is small, little amounts of bait. I think we're trying to trick one fish at a time. We're not trying to get a big shoal of bream with their heads down. It's not those sort of conditions. Water is pretty clear, I'm going to say, so every fish is going to be important. I think swapping lines could be important, so maybe catch a fish then move line, maybe. I think the first job is to get a bite though. Freezing cold, water's on the verge of freezing, so getting a bite is going to be a bonus. Target weight, if I can get to £10, I think that'll be good. My partner Adam Wakeling, he's on a reasonable peg on Croft. One peg off those reeds that we were talking about where the carp sit, so he's got a chance of an odd carp, but I think he'll catch some silvers as well. He might get to £15 if he has a good day, but who knows. Wish me luck. Here he comes, sauntering up. Don't come down this end, come on.
Are we going to look at my gear?
Yep, let's get going. Look,
we've got a right match on here today, haven't we?
Denty on the phone, probably getting advice about his peg, or giving advice.
I'll tell you what he's getting advice on. I've write his blog.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's a social media superstar now, isn't he? Yeah. So Denty on the next peg to me. There's my gear, Denty's gear. Let's get down here, because Lee, you're not in my section, are you?
I don't know, am I? What number are you?
You're the match organiser. 51.
No, you're in my section.
Oh, we're both in the same section?
Yeah, we are. This is great because we've got a balance in our section.
I don't
We've
think
got Danny Robbins, one of the nicest guys in fishing.
And then we're all horrible at it.
Exactly. Brett Clark, the other side of me. Great guy. Oh, shouldn't swear, should I?
No swearing.
So you have to beat that out.
I'll beat you down.
And then we've got us to balance it out.
Potty mouth Lee Kerry. Right. Oh.
What are you laughing at? Don't tell me you're laughing at me, see?
I thought you were joking.
No, I told you it's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant is my seat.
That's a heated seat cushion, folks.
Right, it's 2 degrees here today. Would you rather be sat on
That's a heated seat cushion.
A lovely heated seat cushion, or
Wow.
would you rather not be?
Wow. Okay, right, just quickly talk through your approach. No, I don't want you plugging all your brands, logo up on your flask. I see how you've set that up nicely.
Yeah, I'll just hang on, just turn that around first. Right.
Yeah, so turn it around so everyone can see. Right, talk me through your approach, because I've got 3 rods set up, you've got 3 rods set up.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. For the first time in a long time, I got a chance to come and have a fish on Wednesday. And when I came on Wednesday, I was on 39, and we caught absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing. But I never saw a fish move, I never saw a fish pimp or anything. And I've sat here today, and this end of the lake, there's not loads, but there's like a very odd bubble. And there was like no bubbles on Wednesday. So me being super optimist, I've got 3 rods for 3 different distances. I've got like 12 meters, which is this rod. I've got 23 meters, which is this rod. So another 11 meters further, and 34 meters. So I've basically got 3 rods to see where the fish are,
and then I'm going to start fishing probably in the middle one, I would guess, and then I'm going to change it around and see what I can find. I mean, this is my bait, look.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's amazingly, I've got 3 rods set up almost identical distances.
Have you really?
I've got some dark ground bait, some bloodworm, some bloodworm.
What makes you stand
I've got
out?
some maggots and some pinkies like you. Your casters might make you stand out because that quarter of a pint of casters.
Listen, I bought a pint, so do you want a few? In fact, you could have half of these.
Yeah, I know. I haven't got any casters, and there's obviously your joker.
Yeah, my joker. I've got an old one and a new one.
Oh.
And then like
And an EVA case of feeders as well.
Yeah, I've got my little feeders in here. Got a few my little gems.
Wow.
For being little. Did you? Just go right down to that, right?
Oh.
I've got 2 of these little feeders.
And I've just dropped one in there.
And I've got one.
It's okay, I've got some spare ones.
Because Rob has just dropped my little feeder
Oh,
between
dear.
the gap. Anyway, so
Sorry about that.
that's all right, no problem. So the idea is going to be.
That's called hamstringing the opposition, you
Yeah,
know.
well done, mate. Yeah. So you've come down. You've seen how I approach the peg. You've seen my bait. You've seen my lines.
And I threw your feeders in the water. Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant.
Okay. I did call you a friend earlier. I'm going to have to change that. But listen, that's the approach today. And what we've got to realise is that on a cold day like today, I'm saying double figures will be really good.
I think £10 is
No,
the
double figures
for
really
me, I
good.
think it's generally going to get worse to my end as you go that way.
Maybe.
And I feel
the hot pegs have been 14 to 26.
Yeah.
They're the hot pegs. And then as you came up,
as you come this way, it
bit,
generally gets worse, doesn't it?
but it's a funny old place, Hall.
Look at this fizzing in front of you there.
This is what I'm on about. Look, there
Yeah.
is odd little fizzes in front of me. It's not like
Yeah,
loads.
see if I
but
can
like-
zoom in on that.
I mean, I think, and then there's one slightly to the left. But when I came the other day, you never saw any of that. So I don't know. When I came, again, I'm saying again, it was high pressure during the week. It's a bit lower pressure today.
Yeah, air pressure's dropping all the time, isn't
Pressure's
it?
dropping all the time. There's an outside chance that it could be like a 10, 12 pound day. The thing is with the so-called hot pegs is the fish are quite small, so you know they'll probably get plenty of bites. But again, what weights they're going to catch, I don't know. So it's such a great lead because you never know what's going to happen. I just hope it's not. Yesterday they fished a golden rod on here and they fished for a few carp, and I think quite a lot of people didn't catch anything, but they are fishing methods for carp or popped up bread or something like that. So let's just hope that we can get a few bites. So
I think that's the first job, get a bite, isn't it?
that's the first job. Well, actually,
So first job is
is
get
to try
that
and
feeder
find my
out.
feeder.
Let's see if he's down there.
Right.
It's clear enough. I might get him.
Yeah, well, I reckon if you've got long arms coming from this side here, like that.
I'll get the magnet out.
Absolutely perfect. Well, there we go. That's a little update of the gear. All light lines. You got light lines? on there
Yeah,
as well?
light
Oh,
lines.
18?
Yeah. There's Lee, it'll be obviously different hardware, but
we'll have to come and do an edge super detailed one of these. So
we could,
guys
yeah,
can
get
see
really
all
detailed and look at the rigs.
all the
I'll tell you
rigs
what
and
though.
just feed
I'll tell you
into-
what though. Okay, it's fizzing out there.
I'm saying, it's not.
You've got a massive shoulder carp in your peg.
We know we've got a tricky day ahead of us. Any bite is going to be a bonus. So, first cast is across, a little maggot feeder, double maggot on the hook. I'm trying to nick an early carp. On a lot of pegs at Hallcroft, you can catch an early bonus carp. It gets you off the mark. It's worth £1, well worth catching. So first cast is across, 2 metres off that far bank, see if we can catch that early bonus. Unfortunately, on this occasion, the tip doesn't go round. We're reeling in after 10 minutes, biteless. Looking around though, in this early part of the match, no one's really catching anything. It's freezing cold. We're not expecting a great early start. So it's time to scale things down and start fishing for anything that swims. Took the maggot feeder off, a little ground bait feeder, a little tiny rocket feeder, single maggot on the hook, casting it across, thinking at least I've got a chance of catching an odd skimmer, perch, roach. A carp's still going to pick up my hook bait, no problem, but I'm fishing for any species now. Fortunately, tip's gone round, second cast across. I've got myself my first skimmer of the day.
There he is. They're the target for today. £1.5.
Old fish though, look how dark these fish are. Seen it all before. Hopefully, a load more to come.
Next cast we've cast out, gone round again, unbelievable. I'm talking to James Dent on the next peg, telling him how good the day's going to be and how many fish we're going to catch. The day's going fantastically well at this point. We're an hour in, I've got 2 fish. Unbelievably, on the third chuck across, the tip goes round again. I've got my third skimmer in as many casts. What a fantastic platform to build on for the rest of the day. That's my thoughts. And I can tell that my free fish is a great return for our area, because it's at this point I get a nice little text from Lee giving me his update for the first hour or so.
Flanking. Well, that's one way to get off the mark. A £15 ghosty. Unfortunately, that is my first bite and we are 2 hours in. So I took my time playing it, to say the least. But anyway, he counts a pound and it was good fun. Gotta get him in. Let's have an update, folks. So we are now 2 hours into the match. It's been slow going, but I've got 3 decent skimmers. They're probably £1.50 a piece. I reckon I've got £4.50, something like that. And I'm going to say, in this little area, that's quite good. Denty on the next peg's got a similar amount. I'm not seeing anyone really catching many fish. The wind has got up. It is absolutely freezing. I've put the brolly up, so we can't really see around the corner anymore. I'd rather be comfortable than freezing sitting here, because we're waiting a long time for bites. And let me tell you, I've got a line that's like 5 metres off the far bank, and that's where I've caught all my fish so far. But I've had a drop on my middle line, and my middle line I've had a couple of indications, so I just don't know whether any fish have settled there yet properly, or whether I'm not quite doing it right. But what I don't want to do is keep piling bait in on that middle line, because I think that's where I'm going to have a really nice run later on. So I don't want to keep chucking on there and just getting an odd indication, not really putting anything in the net, because I think I'll wreck the swim doing that. So I'm back over on that far bank. I'm just going to hop between sort of like the 3 lines I've got. That middle line though is the one that I think the fish will turn up on. I've had an odd indication across there. There's an odd carp having a go now, so I'm hoping that the odd indication I'm getting across there are skimmers and not carp. Last thing I want to be doing is hooking carp. I'm only fishing very light, so I don't want to be hooking carp, because I'm going to have problems landing them for sure. I think this last hour today is going to be really important, so I'm just trying to do everything I can to set it up for a good last 60 or maybe even 90 minutes of the match. But we're on our way. It's slightly better than I thought it would be anyway. Let's keep plugging on.
I used to be a terrible angler. On the river, on the canal, on the lake, on the rod, on the pole. And then I hit the join button on the Edge YouTube channel. Now I catch one of these every cast.
For years I was the laughing stock of my club. I hated going fishing. Every week my mates would bully me. Sir Blanks a lot, they kept calling me. It was terrible. Couldn't catch a thing. And now those anglers want to be me, and their wives want to be with me.
Before the Edge, I was a loser. Now I win every time. Yeah!
Join the Edge? I'm not joining the Edge. Why do I want to do that? It's like literally ridiculous. You know, like, I am so good at fishing. I fish matches every single week. Do you know, I won a section once. What do you mean by default? Anyway, listen, I'm not joining any rubbish, two clamp it, don't care how good they are. I'm the best. Nobody's as good as me.
When I first started fishing, I had a cabinet full of cobwebs, but then I clicked the join button on the Edge YouTube page. Now I've got a cabinet full of these.
There you go, folks. It's so easy to get better at fishing. All you've got to do is hit the join button on the Edge YouTube page. There's loads of content that's going to help you catch more fish. The underwater videos have transformed my fishing alone. Then there's all the tactical stuff. You can be, like me, winning match after match just by joining the Edge YouTube membership section.
So, a little bit of rain at the time for a mid-match update. Now, it was going very poorly. 2 hours in, just that one carp, no other bites. And then, in the last little bit, I've actually managed 4 skimmers. Now, those 4 skimmers are going to go about £3, which isn't, you know, which is okay, considering that probably come over like 20-25 minutes, because you're waiting for bites. There's no, you know, it's not in and out, it's not hectic fishing. I haven't had any other indications. I've literally just had 4 bites, and it seems to be best just ground bait with just literally, I'm just pinching out a little bit of joker, putting it in as I'm going. Brett Clark, who's, if I can see Brett there, who's on the next peg, he's got 3 skimmers, and Danny Robbins has got 1 skimmer next to me, and then I've heard it's, you know, 1 skimmer blanking, so it's really, really tough. The peg's down the bottom end, so down that bottom end of the lake, that's where all the fish are, but they don't look massive, but they are all getting plenty of bites down there and having a lovely day's fishing. So I'm not sure how Rob's getting on up to my right, but it doesn't seem like there's loads of fish in this middle part of the lake. You can imagine those early indications have amounted to nothing, I'm afraid. It's hard to see anything now because obviously the water's rippling, but you know, I'm just being really patient. I'm looking for like 5 or 6 minutes at least. You know, I've actually had a couple of 10-minute chucks just to try to wait and almost bore one on, because it doesn't seem to me like anything's grabbing at it. If anything, I'm probably just making the situation worse by casting in all the time. So there isn't a lot of bait in my peg, which is probably why I haven't really had many indications. I literally just had pull rounds. So like I said, literally like little fingernail of joker. I'm just getting a little fingernail of joker. This ground bait's quite damp, like F1 green. Just F1 green on its own today. And it's nice. So I'm hoping for another one this chuck, because I've had 4 in my last 5 chucks. So, you know, they tend to, it wouldn't surprise me if sort of that was it now for a little bit, and then I might get another 3 or 4 later. But the key today is going to be creeping along. If I've got 3 and a bit pound with those 4 fish plus my carp, so I've got 4 and a bit pound. Remember, £10 the target, so let's see. Hopefully it goes around in the next minute or 2.
Denty, look. Denty's now got 6 skimmers and a roach. So he's on the march. I've got 4 skimmers, and we are now going into the last half an hour. It seems like the fish are just like disappearing from this area. No one in this bit of a bay seems to be catching anything. So we're chasing at the minute. Hopefully the last half hour is going to be good. We need something to happen. One of my moves is, because I've caught my fish across, you can see the peg, if I zoom in there, the peg in front of that white box, that's been my marker for most of the day. I've just now started searching a little bit. So we've had a chuck to the right into some new water. See if we can nick a fish or 2 there. I still think there's a chance that I might get one down the middle. A chance. Denty's had 2 or 3 down the middle. But I'm hoping we We probably need another 4 fish to get to double figures, I think. And I think double figures will be mega from here, because it is absolutely freezing.
As the match has gone on, I've rotated lines. I knew that I couldn't keep plundering that long line all day. So I've rotated lines between the middle line, the short line, and that long line. I feel I'm doing everything right. I know that my best chance is down the middle, but unfortunately, the only other fish I catch is from that far line. Once again, and that is it. 4 fish for the day. It's tough fishing in the winter, but if you're not on the bank, you can't catch them.
Some end of match banter here, JD. You giving him some end of match banter? Yeah. What have we finished with, Rob?
4 skimmers.
4 skimmers. Hey up, look at these good looking men, eh? Yeah. Yeah. What weights we had, lads?
14.2's winning it.
Where was that?
From Clark.
Wow. 14.2. Well, if you add us all together here, we might get to that.
Got it? Grand beauty's in there.
Look.
Dunk, 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 dunk.
Lovely. Yeah, 4 brown, and they look like peas in a pod, Rob.
6.10 was this week. Oh, wind it on a bit.
Yeah.
Let's have a look round here. They didn't look.
£6.
£6. £6. Oh. 4 for £6, £1.50 a piece.
Yeah.
What are we saying to that, Rob? Tough day.
Tough day. I put my brolly up because I was so cold in the end.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the brolly setup. Oh. Actually, a peg that you can do it on. No more bites. So literally those few bites early on, and then no other bites. Mm.
What were the weights of the other side?
One cartwheel.
Wow. Let's have a look at his carp. Oh, get your carp. Let's have a look at your carp, by the way. You've done me with the carp.
Cheers, Lee. £5.11.
5.11 plus.
What's that big boy? Hang on, let's...
How big do you think he is?
I reckon he's about 12.
I'm going to say about £1 in this in this league. So you've had a total of 6.11.
Yeah, 6.11.
Oh, tough old day.
Tough all day, there he goes. Look,
He's going for that feeder that I dropped in. He's trying to get that feeder that I dropped in.
Oh dear. Yeah, very tough, Rob. Very tough. I had 4 skimmers in literally 4 chucks in the middle of the match. I can't even say like I've sort of just caught an odd one throughout the day. Brett caught 3 skimmers as I caught 4 skimmers, and I should think he'll have £5 or £6 as well. Maybe a bit more. He caught a lot of roach late on.
Yeah, it's strange how the roach have obviously moved down a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, about 2 hours in, he was 2 hours to go, he's getting a roach above, and here it was just like a bit like the last 40 minutes there was little roach to catch, but nothing.
No, I've literally had 4 bites. That's it, 4 bites. Tough.
Oh
tough.
dear. Very
That's
tough.
fishing. What about your cushion though? How warm was it?
Hey, listen, that cushion has been red hot all day. Absolutely red hot. I've had very nice warm bum and a warm body, but not many bites. I'm glad I did, because otherwise it's been a long old day.
Yeah. Right, let's go and get packed up.
Second with 111.10 is Chris Greensides and Ben Holmes. And surging into the lead with 117.1 is Luke Armitage and Brian Sir.
Well, that's it. unloaded the gear. I'm ready for some food, but we need to take a little bit of a look at the results. Really interesting, because I think those floods at the start of the year have shown that Hallcroft has been affected in terms of water clarity and in terms of, you know, how the banks have been recovered and all the rest of it, which I think they've done a great job, by the way. But you can see there's still loads of fish in there. They're just tightly shoaled. So, excuse me, one section today had nearly 100 pound of silverfish. What unbelievable fishing in that section. There was a lot of silverfish there. Elsewhere, it's been a bit harder. You've had to be a bit more patient, particularly where Rob and I have been. But with 2 rounds to go, I think we're laying in about 5th or 6th place now in the league, myself and Will. We've had 17 pound today, 20 pound less than the leading weights, but that can totally turn next time. That's why it's about like a 5-round league with weight. Rob and Adam, they're just outside the top 10. They've got a brilliant chance of getting into the top 10 and even further up the leaderboard, because if it goes mild again, the fishing could be brilliant, or you could draw in the better areas and obviously have that good day, have that bumper day like a few of the pairs have had today. Leading the way, Brian Searle and Luke Armitage. Really pleased to see them. They've never led the league before, so I'm really chuffed to see them at the top. Can they hold on for the final 2 rounds? Who knows? It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a great finish, but that is winter fishing, taking on the big challenge of these big waters and how they get affected. I can't wait to get back and see what it's like next time. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll keep you up to date with what we're doing.